that girl. Sorry, it's been a while. I've been filming a video for my other channel, and then I went on work experience, but they were just excuses. But I'm here now, and this video is going to be probably less fun than usual for most of you, because I do chemistry A-level, and some of you probably don't. But I'm going to do it anyway, because this video is quicker to film than the other idea that I have, and I didn't want to upload 2 singing videos in a row, even though it was requested me to do another one. But beginning over, okay? Let's get into the science. That's right, I do jazz hands when I'm talking about science. That's what happens. So, today I'm going to be kind of explaining / trying really hard to remember Le Chatelier's principle, I think. Because we were going through a test in class that we did recently, and one of my classmates didn't understand something, and I was, pretty much as I am now, quite sleep deprived, and I felt like getting up because I was sitting down. I was falling asleep, so I wanted to get up and stuff. And I was kind of trying to reason it in my own head. And then one of my other classmates, who happened to be the only other student in the class at that moment, so he suggested I make it into a video, because apparently it was really good explaining. I doubt that, but we'll see. We'll have fun. Maybe not you, but I'll have fun. Hopefully some of it will osmosis, convection, diffusion. Okay, so Le Chatelier's principle is if a dynamic equilibrium is disturbed by changing conditions of the reaction. It's like it's a reversible reaction in closed, and if you change that, then with a dynamic equilibrium, which I could explain, but I kind of just want to focus on Le Chatelier's principle. So you can research dynamic equilibrium if you want to know that. Sorry, I'm just kind of miming the closed system. This is my reaction, where it's taking place. So if you change the conditions, because the equilibrium is dynamic, it's going to move to kind of accommodate the change. So it wants to keep it level, basically, of reactants and products. So so the conditions that you'd be changing for this reaction would be temperature. One second. Starts with C. Concentration, pressure, and you can add a catalyst, but catalyst doesn't really move the equilibrium position. It makes it reach equilibrium quicker, because a catalyst increases rate of reaction, and it kind of just increases both of them, because you can't really have a catalyst for one and not the other, because it's all in the same system. So we'll start with temperature. Say this is filled up with all the reactants that you want. That's upside down. And this is products. So obviously you won't have 1-to-1 all the time, but it's easier to hold one thing for me. So reactants on the left, products on the right. So if you decrease the temperature, it will favour whichever direction the exothermic reaction is, and if you increase the temperature, it will favour the endothermic reaction, because the endothermic reaction needs the heat. So if you increase the temperature, say this is a warmer colour, so this is the exothermic reaction. So products to make reactants is exothermic. This to this, exothermic. But reactants to products is endothermic. Okay? So if I change all of this to this, if I don't know, what did I say? This endo, this exo. Okay, so if I to change this into this, I need to put in heat. Otherwise, the particles won't have enough energy to do their thing and react. And with collision theory comes in to collide and be successful collision. But if I want to turn this into this, I need to, well, it doesn't need heat, it will release heat. It kind of gives the heat back. So if you increase the temperature, this one doesn't need that energy because it's giving it away. But this one can use the energy to turn it to this. So an increase in temperature will favour the endothermic reaction. But if I decrease the temperature, this reaction isn't getting all the energy it needs. But this reaction is still releasing energy. So it's basically just whichever is exothermic, endothermic. I don't know if that was clear, that probably was not clear at all. But basically, increase in temperature goes in the direction of the endothermic reaction, decreasing the temperature will go into the direction of the exothermic route. So my next point is going to be concentration. In my mind, concentration and pressure are quite similar, because if you increase the concentration of something, it increases the pressure inside that space. So for concentration, if you increase the concentration of either a reactant or product, the equilibrium will shift in the direction that hasn't been increased. So what we want is the dynamic equilibrium is trying to keep these equal. So one pot of this and one pot of this. Now if I don't have another pot of this, but if I say this is the same thing and I add another pot of that, that throws the equilibrium. So we're going to want to move the reaction in this direction, so this, or at least some of this, changes to that. See? So we want it to, so now they've both got 1.5, whereas when you increased it, it had 2. I'm not as great at explaining concentration. Please, if you have any queries about this, ask someone other than me, but also feel free to leave a comment asking for clarification, because I can confuse myself, and I know I can definitely confuse others when trying to explain things in a clear way. So I guess that's just life sometimes. So pressure is my final point. Now this was the point my classmate had trouble with, because pressure is a tricky one and I didn't actually fully understand it until I tried to explain it to her. So pressure is kind of similar to concentration, but you can't increase pressure on the reactants, on either the reactants or the products. If you increase the pressure, you increase the pressure of the whole system. So you remember my box from before, it would be, you can't squeeze one part of the box, you've got to squeeze the whole box together. Imagine the reactions happening in the box. Basically, increasing the pressure of a reaction, the equilibrium will shift to the side that has the fewest gas molecules. So if it was 1 mole of something, say 2 moles of Na plus goes to 1 mole of Na2. Now there's the same amount of atoms, but there's more moles of Na plus than moles of Na2, because they're joined and floating around together, and these are just... So that wouldn't be a reaction you'd get. So if you... How I explained it was, you're in a room, say you're at a party for some reason, because you have friends, and you and your friends are standing on one side of the room, and everyone else is standing on the other side of the room, because, I don't mean to offend here, but they're repulsed by you. It doesn't have to be you, just some... Okay, let it be me, okay. I'm standing on the outskirts of the party, because no one likes me, no one wants to talk to me. So, I'm here, alone in the corner, with my Fanta. Not Paige, you know what, not Fanta, because their new logo has actually put me off. I mean, I could, in a way, I could turn a blind eye, the occasional glass, with them stealing water, but I have a thing with Coca-Cola. Okay, I have a cup of Pepsi. I mean, I have a cup of cola flavoured drink, which isn't important to the story, but I chose to make this analogy a party, so it's a party. Hooray. I'm standing alone in this corner, okay? Because, as I say, no one likes or wants to talk to me. Now, there's a crowd of people over there, all dancing, having a great time, ignoring me as I try to say hi. We grew up in the same house. We're related. You're my sister. Don't pretending not to know me. Not gonna work. You have the same last name. And then, put my drink down, for some supernatural reason or conspiracy plot thing, you're in a movie, okay? You're in a thriller. I'm in a thriller movie in this party with friends and family that hate me. This is so irrelevant, I'm so sorry. All you need to know is that there's less people on this side of the room than there are on that side of the room. Okay? So the walls start closing in. Where are people gonna come? I'm not gonna move over to the side where a lot more people are, because that side's gonna get way more cramped way more quickly. But people over there, they're going to want to come over to this side where there's more space. That was way too long an explanation, but basically, less people on this side, more people on that side. So there's less space i.e. more pressure, people from a more crowded area will want to come into the less crowded area. And so it's the same with molecules. If people are moles of molecules, I'm a mole of molecules. If you imagine people are moles of molecules, less people here, more people there, space decreases, well, the room gets smaller, i.e. pressure increases, and more moles want to come onto this side than that side. The equilibrium is going to shift in favour of the side with less molecules, whether that be products or reactants. Well, I'm sorry for this video. I hope you enjoyed watching it, especially if you don't like or do chemistry. Thanks for staying. I don't know why you did, but good for you. You learned something today, or you just listened to a girl who has no idea what she's talking about, and that's okay. Well, it's not, but I will get a video out on my other channel soon. I know soon is vague and ridiculous, but by next week it should be out, so watch out for that. And summer's coming, so I'll have more light, more natural light to film with, and hopefully more consistent with the uploads, rather than going to work experience or going to school, or still have homework, but less homework, more time making videos. Have a great whatever it is, wherever you are, and I'll see you soon.